Ladies and gentlemen, that's right, ladies and freaking gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of...
Suck my balls.
Yeah.
Suck my balls.
Yum.
Suck my balls.
Suck 'em.
Suck my balls.
Touch 'em.
Suck my balls.
Hold 'em.
Suck my balls.
Rub 'em.
Suck my balls.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition
Suck my balls.
of Suck My Balls,
Suck my balls.
a South Park review.
Suck my balls.
I, of course, am your host in the heat, and I can't be beat. I'm your guy who's high where the air is so very, very hot and dry. Your boy, M to the S to the G. You can follow me, or us, as a brand. Twitter, Instagram, Suck My Balls Pod, South Park Pod on the Facebookers. Link tr.ee/South Park Pod. And just type in Suck My Balls South Park Review on the YouTubers. Of course, I am not alone, as each and every week I am joined by a multitude of different people, but mostly just two people. Sometimes one, sometimes both. But they're usually here for the long haul. First, shout out to the Mac Daddy, the OG, the S, the C, the double OP. He's doing school. Shout out to you, Scoop. But, ladies and gentlemen, I am not alone. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Making his way back to the podcast, this man is a doctor. The doctor of punkonomics. Doctor of thugonomics. Doctor of polyphonics. And he is, of course, your 2022 Red Rocks Day 1 Trivia Champion. The dirtiest of J's. Joe Vernola.
I'm trying to figure out what 8-bit that is either an homage or straight up copy of.
Oh, it's the actual song. From
Is
Shining.
that Final Fantasy?
The actual song from Shining Force.
Oh, okay. Shining Force. I was close.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dirty J, how you doing?
Oh, I'm okay. I'm alright. I don't know.
Well, we're back for another fantastical episode of Sucking of the Balls of Matt Stone and Trey Parker, the creators of South Park, as we review South Park for you in linear fashion. Each and every week, we have done so for, gosh, I mean, are we bordering 3 years? It's almost 3 years now, coming up here in January. It'll be 3 years of us doing this podcast. And other than like 1 or 2 weeks of which we've taken a week off, you've pretty much got a new episode every week. And
Yeah.
more content now, more than ever. Check out our YouTube. We got the brand new, of course, this episode. Hopefully you're watching right here on YouTube. Maybe you're just listening as well. Or go to our YouTube and check out the full season 25 review. You want to check that out? Me and Joe did all 6 episodes. They're all up there. You can also check out the post-COVID Part 1 and Part 2 reviews. And coming soon, a breakdown of streaming wars as well. But ladies and gentlemen, we're here to talk today about a special guy. A man who's sometimes just wants to get a little high. You know, like he just wants to get a little high.
You want to get high?
And that, of course,
Always.
is Tally. Because today's episode surrounds Stephen McTally and his quest to make money for the rent by creating a book called A Million Little Fibers by Stephen McTally.
I'm a person.
I'm a person. Don't you see that if I wasn't a person, would I be wearing this hat and fake mustache? That's all I need to know. But we'll get there. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Suck My Balls episode 147 of ours, and is the 144th overall episode of South Park as they aired on April the 19th, 2006. It's also a certain sister of mine's birthday, April 19th. So that's a good day. And it was a good day for a million little fibers. Little fibers here. So for those who might not understand what in general this story is a parody of itself. Now, I didn't do the most background check on this now, but just recalling from memory, there was a man who wrote a book, right? And he ended up going on the Oprah Winfrey Club show, whatever. And it wasn't called A Million Little Fibers, but it was like something similar to that, which we'll talk about in the trivia. But the backstory, just a quick synopsis there is in real life, this guy wrote a book and lied about it and a bunch of shit in the book. And it made Oprah kind of look dumb too because she made this Book of the Month club. So she had this guy come back on her TV show and she got him to admit and take responsibility and blah, blah, blah. So this whole thing is a parody of that, but with a towel, with Tally. And it's all about him trying to make as much money as he can for the rent. So that's, I think, the true synopsis if you don't understand the context of the story of this episode. Would you agree, Joe?
Yes. Yeah, it's pretty much the context needed to get why this episode was made at this time.
Right, in 2006.
Yeah. And why they would like, oh, why is this motherfucker doing fake shit on Oprah's book club?
But it's interesting because every time they use Tally, or at least the last couple times they've used Tally, they've done it in the form, or they do it in the form of like TV show parodies, right? They did it with this, and then they also do it with the rehab special.
Yeah, the intervention episode, yeah.
Episode is great. Anyway, you brought washcloth?
That's fucking low.
Fucking low.
And like Butters is like reading the note to him.
You want to get high?
That's basically what happens a lot in this episode, though, is it's Tally's coming with his understanding of smoking a lot of weed and what it may do. And he's going to learn the one stoner, I think, idea that if you are let's say a very intelligent stoner and you've got a lot of things to do in your life on a day-to-day basis, you say, rather than getting high before I'm going to do all these ideas, I'm going to do all my ideas first, and then I'm going to reward myself. So it's going to take a while for Tally to get there, rather than just, getting high and being stupid and not wanting to do anything, which it takes a while.
I need to be high to do shit.
Well, I'm saying, for some people they can't, and that Tally is one of those people. That being said, let's talk about this episode. This episode starts off as Tally's working at a restaurant, for those unfamiliar, and they're big over here on the West Coast. I don't know if they're big on the East Coast, but P.F. Chang's, and P.F. Chang's is like I would say a lower to mid upper level restaurant in regard to fine dining. You're going to be able, you might take P.F. Chang's on, you might go there on like a family outing, a birthday, maybe even a date, because it's the meals are those $10 to $25 plates. So it's not cheap, but it's also not rich. You know what I mean? It's kind of that middle of ground of a restaurant type thing. But
girls think you fancy if you take them to P.F. Chang's.
Right, exactly. But it's a chain itself, right? Because there are multiple states and multiple places. But again, I only went to Florida and then I basically gone all along the South. I didn't see any old P.F. Chang's there. So, I mean, I saw Asian restaurants. I just didn't see a P.F. Chang's. But if I'm wrong, correct me. Let me know if P.F. Chang's is big in the East Coast. And if it's just big where you are, tell me, do you like eating a lot of P.F. Chang's when you're going for the world record? Unfortunately, though, for Tally,
I go there to find out when Chinese invasions of America are.
Oh, you go there to find out.
That's the only reason.
Don't shoot guys in the dick. So, unfortunately, Tally's high, though, as at work, right? As he's too busy mixing sauce to care about anything else. And the people he's serving start to complain. And as a result, Tally ends up he gets fired. He gets fired for being high at work and just like, how high do you want your sauce?
How spicy do you want your Chang sauce?
How spicy do you want your Chang sauce? All right. I'm fucking high. I don't even know. I have no idea where I'm at right now. I have no idea.
Can we just order our food? He's been stirring our sauce for 15 minutes.
So following this, Tally starts walking down the street and he realizes that he's jobless and therefore he has no way of making money and will end up unable to pay the rent. So he ponders whether he should get high or not, but this, of course, usually causes problems. But alas, for Tally, not getting high makes him dumb. Getting high actually makes him smart, gives him ideas. So he gets high to come up with another idea. So let's start the episode and the review out there. We'll show a couple clips, and then we'll press forward.
Hi, welcome to P.F. Chang's. How spicy would you like me to make your Chang sauce? Chris, the people at table 3 need their check.
I know. I'm swamped. I've got no help here.
Well, what about the new waiter?
The new waiter is useless. And I think he's high.
How spicy would you like your chainsaws?
Place our order, please.
Oh, man. I have no idea what's going on.
Everything okay here?
Fine, except this towel has been mixing Chang sauce for 15 minutes. He's clueless.
Don't call me shoeless. You're shoeless.
Don't call me
Now you're a
shoeless.
towel.
You're a towel.
All right, that's it. Get out of here. You're fired.
Yeah.
Not him, you.
Oh.
I just love that he's like, yeah, you're fired. Like, yeah.
Oh.
And then he just like instantly brought down.
All right, so now we're going to go to the tail end here of Towelie walking the streets in despair. And he's going to come up with an idea.
I bet people can't wait to read my memoirs.
His memoirs.
A million little fibers by Towelie. This is a really
He
good
spells it with
idea.
like extra E's and shit.
So yes, that's the beginning of this episode, is that Towelie is going to, of course, as we mentioned, write his own book. And in this case, it's about his memoirs and his life. And that was the controversy in regards to the regular book that they're parodying. Is that guy basically either took stories or something like, again, we'll get to the trivia and the pop culture and all that, but like he either took stories from other people or he was pretending. It basically just was made up bullshit, like things that he didn't actually experience. And when people found out about it, they were pissed. And I'd say rightfully so.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, you probably shouldn't lie to people.
yeah.
You're going to try to sell them some shit about how you overcame adversity. Did I say that right?
Adversity.
Adversary. What am I saying here? It is an adversary. Your life. My life is an adversary sometimes. God damn it.
See, yeah, people don't like it if you lie about things you did in your life, unless you're Sergeant Slaughter. Somehow you get away with it if you're him.
Right. So now at his home, he turns up his autobiography entitled A Million Little Fibers at publishers. So basically he goes around to these different publishers itself now, right? Trying to get his book picked up. But Towelie's turned down because it's an autobiography of a towel. Because to his disappointment, like, people obviously don't want to read a towel's autobiography because you can't really like relate to a towel. So he gets the bright idea to go home and make some alterations. He's going to cross out all the uses of the word towel and replace them with person.
Yeah. Which is a good idea and a lot easier to do nowadays than it was 17 years ago.
And you're a towel.
You're a towel.
No. I'm a big book publisher who's not the least bit interested in your stony memoirs. You're a towel.
I better get a little high. Oh, maybe I shouldn't. But you have to think of something fast, and getting high makes you smart. All right, I'll just use my special getting high powers one more time.
One more time.
I'm sorry. If I were the first publisher and I had a bioengineered or like whatever the fuck, I can't remember all the backstory on Towelie right now, but like he was like hunted down by the army. Like that is a badass life. Like
I
would
want the
have
rights
been
to this movie at that point, right?
yeah, like yo, like you were fought over by aliens and the U.S. government and 4 boys.
Well, they really didn't.
Yo,
care.
where
They
the
just wanted,
fuck
they just
do
wanted
I
their own
sign?
comic games. They just wanted their own comic games. But you should still did.
Yeah, but
you
they
should
were
have done that. You just the boy, little fella.
boy.
He did.
the boy.
You did the boy, little fella. You still shouldn't have done that. He did the boy, little fella.
What is he talking about?
Cartman?
Yeah, no, I know what Cartman's talking about. I was quoting Randy Marsh. Wait, what is he talking about? And Sharon's like, nothing.
Nothing. Wait, what is he talking about? Wait, nothing. You still shouldn't have done that. He did the boy, little fella. This thing came out of you? Okay, anyway, you can go back and watch that review. Oh, come on, Gamesphere. We don't care. Just like you didn't care, probably. But after this, of course, you heard Towelie then goes home, changes all the words in the book to,
Person and people.
person and people, right? This is a really good idea, he says to himself as he, rewrites his book. And then after this, Towelie then takes the book to another publisher wearing a fake mustache and a hat and using the name Stephen McTally. And he, of course, as we kind of alluded to at the top of the episode, introduces his book. And the publisher guy is like, this is great. This is riveting. This is like in chapter 7 when you write, I am a man who has been hung out to dry, blah, 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 blah. This is so riveting. But I just have one question. Are you a towel?
If I was a towel, would I be wearing this fake hat? Would I be wearing this hat and fake mustache?
That's all I need to know. By the way, I don't mean to brag here. I don't need to be a bragging Brent. But I did get the Towelie shoes, so there is that. They're on the way. Bing, bam, boom. They're coming.
Such a bragging Brad.
Bragging Brent, bragging Brad, bragging Ben. I don't know what you want to call me, but I got confirmed. SP Shop hit me up last week. They were like, yo, you're one of our reserve members, so we love you. I want to let you buy these shoes early. I was like, thank you. And I bought those early. Boom. If y'all want to buy these shoes, guess what? It's too late because this episode came out 7 days after the episode dropped. Boo. Shoes are already out. You missed it. Maybe you got it.
So much to do with Cartman Land.
You can't. All right, so let's go to some clips here now of Stephen McTally talking to the book publisher, his new book publisher itself, who's going to, of course, basically change his life, Joe. We'll change your life forever, boy. Change your life.
This one. I am a person who often gets hung out to dry by all those around me.
I know this company would be honored to publish this book. I just have one small question first. You're not a towel, are you?
No. If I was a towel, why would I be wearing this hat and this fake mustache?
Right, I'm sorry. Well, Stephen, if it's all right with you, I'm going to get our agents and lawyers on the phone right now. We're in business, sir.
We're in business,
right.
sir. He's going to, I'm just going to turn this down a little bit because we don't need to listen to all of what she has to say. But now, Stephen McTally is on Oprah here. So he basically, of course, gets back. I mean, for those who who didn't grow up now with Oprah Winfrey itself, because she hasn't been on TV now, right? At least 10 years, I want to say. Or at least 5 to 6 years. So maybe you didn't grow up with Oprah Winfrey when she was this huge daytime talk show, primetime, whatever lady, right? I mean, basically Oprah controlled talk show television, I'd say, for a good 20, 30 years. I mean, she's got her own channel, her own magazine. She's huge.
Yeah.
I mean, born in the 60s or whatever, the 50s, 60s. She was part of the civil rights movement at a young age. So she's seen all of it and broke barriers and molds as far as an individual. But her show, the Oprah Winfrey Show, was huge. So many big things happened on the Oprah Winfrey Show before we had the advent of the internet and things went viral, which, nowadays things go viral and you talk about it online with those people, right? There's not a lot of things that happen online where I go offline and I talk about it with my friends about, right? Because it's just bullshit to me. But back then, when things would happen on Oprah, those are things you would talk about with maybe at school or even with your parents would talk about it with their coworkers, and you'd hear conversations about it. She would bring up pivotal conversations that force people to look at themselves and actually have conversations.
Right.
But unfortunately, as the advent of television continues to dwindle and more people are more streaming stuff, right? I'm not saying you're never going to not have a TV in your house, but you're not going to have cable really anymore. I mean, that's eventually going to die out and everything's just going to be streamed over the internet. And you'll just pick and choose what you want to pay for. So at his home, after this, Towelie goes on Oprah, right? And Towelie's appearance on the show makes it a bestseller because Oprah decides that it's going to be part of her book club or book of the month. And back then, like I said, this was huge. I'm not saying maybe it is now still with literary people. I don't know. I'm not really following those trends. But back then, it was huge. Anytime Oprah said your book was the seal of approval from Oprah, you basically knew that your book was about to become a bestseller because legions of fans were just going to go out and buy the book. If Oprah said it's good, I have to buy it. I have to check this book out. It's Oprah.
Right.
And people would check.
Yeah, and there are still kind of people like that too, even though she just has like the magazine and stuff without really the show anymore. But she puts her name on anything, and
Right. So following this, though, while this is going on, it's very weird. So this is where the episode kind of takes an interesting turn. But I mean, you can't really say it's weird and interesting when you have a talking towel. So Oprah's vagina and asshole that go by the names of Minji and Gary become very angry that the fact that Oprah does not pay attention to them and sexually please them. Minji, the vagina, complains that Oprah used to play with me for all the time. She used to play with me all the time, all night and day. Used to use all of her fingers. Used to use tons of toys. Used to love playing with her, Minj. Oh, the Min, it's like you, Gary.
Minji.
Somebody's got to do it. You got to do it.
Oh, Minji.
What's that, Gary? Anyway, so they basically complain about the fact that they're not getting sexually pleased. So, of course, Gary says the only thing he gets to do nowadays is, throw up PF Changs and wheatgrass. And wheatgrass is what Gary says or whatever.
Yeah.
Are we in Paris? Are we in Paris, Minji?
Yeah, we are, Gary.
The only thing I get to throw up is wheatgrass. Whatever. Anyway, so they decide that they're pissed at Oprah. So Minji says, I know a towel. You don't think a Minji knows a towel when he hears a towel? I don't know how a Minji knows a towel when he hears a towel. But apparently that Minj knows. So the Minj phones up Geraldo Rivera. Who is this? Who's calling? And says that, do you want the dirt? You want the dirt on Oprah, do you? I got it if he wants it. And basically tells him that, he's not a real person. He's a towel. He's not really a person. He's a towel. Oh, he's a towel. So basically, so Geraldo Rivera then goes and investigates, and then Towelie shows up on Larry King Live, podcast form and everything, podcast on a show, basically what Larry King Live did before anybody else did. You know what I mean? If you ever look at his set, just go back. It's just him and his mic. Like, that's like a podcast with a show on TV. So Larry King Live, he has on Towelie to promote the book, and then all of a sudden, in the middle of promoting this book, Geraldo Rivera had apparently gone to great lengths. He went to Afghanistan, and I'm guessing because he had to do some government research to find out about the TAL program, and was able to secure the information that he exposes Stephen McTally and says that he's a TAL, Joe. So Towelie gets called out.
Yes, he did. He does, and that's another thing that may not resonate with people today is just how with almost any major news event at the time, especially with the OJ trial, I think for people your age and my age, that Geraldo was just a part of everything. It was just kind of, and he was just he was just everywhere and in everything. And I think that even goes all the way back to the 80s when he found Al Capone's vault and shit.
Yeah, he became a big time news reporter, right? And eventually it all became about money, just as it usually does.
Larry King Live.
Larry King Live. And Larry King here used to be huge as well. CNN.
Author of the acclaimed book, A Million Little Fibers. How are you tonight, Stephen?
Well, Larry, I'm a little high.
Your book has helped a lot of people beat addiction. What made you write it?
Well, Larry, I was really just writing down my memoirs as a...
What? What's that? Oh, excuse me, Stephen. I understand that we have a special
shocking news here.
Joining us live from Afghanistan, here is Geraldo Rivera.
Geraldo.
Hello? Larry, are you receiving me?
We're here, Geraldo. You're live on the show.
Larry, this brave reporter has spent days investigating and researching, and I have come up with a shocking discovery that is going to rock the balls and ass of the literary world. Stephen McTally, author of A Million Little Fibers. is a towel.
You're a towel.
No, you're a towel.
Well, you're a towel.
What did you say?
No.
A little racist, Mr. Towel.
Yeah. Well, you're a towel.
Oh, yeah, that was no bueno, as they say. No bueno indeed. So now, following this, Oprah has to do damage control, right? Because she supported this towel. Millions of her people have bought in the book, and they count on her for her advice. So as a result of this, she gets the idea to invite the towel back onto her show and tells Towelie, you can explain to the audience that it doesn't matter that you're a towel. As long as you got something positive out of this, that you should be happy that you overcame your addictions, right?
You fucking liar.
You fucking
How dare you lie to Oprah.
So, but unfortunately for Towelie, as Joe's alluding there, when Towelie goes on the show the next day and tries to explain it, A, he gets high, and B, Oprah then shreds him and basically tells him off. You lied to me, and most importantly, what, for money, and you made me look bad in front of these people, and then she wins back the audience's approval because they're like, yeah, you're right, Oprah, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and so it's classic. I mean, she gaslit Towelie, but it's just classic diversionary tactic. Oh, you fucking played us all. And it's more or less what she did to this author and shit too, if I remember correctly.
Right, but she did it in her own Oprah way, but not as bad as this, I guess you might say.
Yeah,
she did it in her own Oprah way, like in a more disappointed mom kind of way.
Yeah.
So Oprah decides to lynch Towelie. She tells everyone to look under your seat, you'll find torches, which again is another thing Oprah started where she would give shit away for free. Of course, Ellen took that and ran with it, started giving away stuff for free as well, lots of stuff. But I remember my mom telling me that she had applied once to go on the Oprah show and just to be in the crowd, like an audience member, just to be on that waiting list. It's like a 3 to 5 year waiting list or something like that. And
that sounds about right.
And by the time my mom got actually called, we had moved out of state by that point.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you had to wait so long just to get on this show because literally she gave away free shit every show. Every freaking
she really was.
There was something. She gave away cars, houses to people. I think the biggest one was the car one. I remember that one. That was the biggest. If you look up one of her Oprah things, she literally gives everybody in the fucking audience a car or something like that. It's ridiculous.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. And
it was.
Everyone's freaking the fuck out. Which obviously, you're just like, what? And you just see everybody we're getting cars. Everybody gets a car. It's crazy. I don't know. I wish I got a free car. So just as Oprah is in the crowd, people are about to lynch Towelie. Minji, the vagina, fearing that their plans are never going to succeed, tears through Oprah's pants with a revolver, and much to Oprah's shock and confusion, takes hostages and says that he wants a chopper and a jet, so that way they can get to Paris and I guess relive out their fantasies. I don't know. So let's go here and do a couple of clips of that. Let's go to Tally on Oprah and Oprah freaking out.
Now, it turns out that your name isn't really Stephen. It's Towelie, correct?
Yeah.
And you are a towel.
Yes, I'm pretty much a towel, Oprah.
Can you explain to the audience why you said you weren't a towel before?
Well, Oprah, I was all they're all I'm still. It's
Was it that you thought embellishing the story was okay if it helped people?
Yeah, that's it.
Well, you know what I think, Towelie? I think you're a lying sack of shit! You lied to all these people, and for what? To make money! They bought your book thinking it was true!
That's right!
I thought you said...
How dare you lie to me and make me look foolish!
What's this? What's she doing?
I don't understand, Minji.
You think writing is a joke, you stupid towel?
You get him, Oprah.
That's the voice I was. Don't understand. That's the voice I was looking for.
She's getting everyone back on her side. Oh, the clever cow.
You lied to me, Towelie, and therefore you have lied to America. We are going to rise up against you.
Gonna rise up against you.
Is the audience ready for a good old-fashioned lynching?
Did she just steal? Did Oprah steal John Cena's catchphrase, "Rise above hate"? Or did South Park?
She may have.
Did South Park steal? Did they just steal that? Your time is not, my time is now. You can't see me, my time is now. It's the franchise and I'm climbing out. You can't see me, my time is now. In case you forgot, I fell off. I'm still here, knock your shelf off. I don't know, something like that.
I'm still hot, knock your shell out. Yeah.
Thunder and lightning, got the fighting. I'm blah, blah, blah. I'm John Cena and I'm raining on lightning, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, now we're going to jump to the next scene here where Minge comes out, or Gary and Minge they're not very happy. They're not very happy, so they're taking some hostage here, Joe.
Ow!
Yeah.
What?
All right, everyone back. Get back, I said.
So unfortunately for that situation, for the cop that's there, as he tries to negotiate, the original cop shows up, tries to negotiate him to put the gun down, and as the cop approaches, Minge advises him not to come forward, and he continues to press, and Oprah's vagina kills a cop.
Yeah.
So following that, everyone knows he means business, and then a bunch more people show up as far as cops and the negotiator, puts a walkie-talkie under Oprah's vagina, her butthole area, so that way Gary could, of course, press the buttons and the Minge could talk. The Minge demands a chopper and a jet to the airport so they can go to Paris. So that was how this escalated. Now, meanwhile, this is going on. The hostages tell Towelie they got to figure, it's his fault they're in that situation. So he needs to find a solution. So Towelie, of course, realizes, wait a minute, I'm a towel, and he slips through the cracks under the floor, of the bank that they're all in front of, and opens the door, which allows the hostages to scurry in and gives the cops the ability, now with no hostages around, to take clear shot. They take the shot, and they shoot Oprah's asshole. And Gary dies.
Gary. Minge.
Minge.
Are we in Paris?
Are we in Paris? Are we in Paris, Minge? Oh, I can smell the croissants. So, yeah, he dies, and then, of course, after he dies, Gary gets pissed and kills himself as well. So now Oprah's vagina and asshole have both shot themselves and committed suicide and died. I'm not going to play all of it. It's a very long scene. They gave this dramatic scene between Oprah's vagina and Oprah's butthole in the death scene here. Like, they give it a good, I don't know, I'd say a good 60 seconds of dialogue before anything happens. Maybe not 90 seconds of dialogue, it feels like. I don't know. We'll go to it here.
Miss me, you stupid buggers! You see that, Gary? They can't even aim!
Minge?
Gary, what's wrong?
They got me, Minge.
No. Oh, no!
I wonder if they'll hit us for copyright for this, because it's just a still frame.
Try to hang on, Gary.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Gary,
Nothing's actually happening.
I'm seeing my life
I
flash
mean, we have the audio,
before my
but there's
eyes.
no animation or anything.
Minge?
I'm here, Gary.
Where are we, Minge?
Are we in Paris?
It's literally like Oprah's, this shot of Oprah's vagina with the gun
Is it as
for a full
wonderful as
90
ours?
seconds with them talking back
beautiful.
and forth here.
We finally made it.
Tell me what you see, Minge.
Well, there's the Eiffel Tower right in front of us. The Louvre right over there behind you.
Stupid.
And fresh baguettes all around.
I can smell them, Minge.
Smell the Minge.
At least I got to see Paris before I died.
Gary, say something.
Like, I wonder if the clip would actually start now. Would the
You
copyright
killed him, you
start
bastards!
after the
He didn't even want any part of
Like,
this!
would start now.
It's all your
The
fault,
video
you stupid
copyright
cow!
for the next 30
You
seconds.
never gave your old Gary the time of day, and now he's gone! Life ain't worth living anymore. What's the use? I'm coming to see you, Gary! I'm coming to see you!
No! Don't!
So, yeah, Oprah's vagina shoots herself, and so after that, Towelie decides, you know, he gets thanked by the hostages, and they apologize, of course, for trying to kill him, and Towelie later realizes that getting high should be a reward and not used for ideas, just as a reward. And that's how the episode ends. So, before we get into the trivia and the pop culture recap and go to a quick work with our sponsors, I do want to say, very odd, you know, that we didn't have any really main characters of South Park in this episode, that this was a full-blown Towelie episode, you know what I mean?
And I think this was the first time they had done that since Pip.
Yeah. So, but we'll be back to talk about that on the other side. What do you think? What did you think of the episode as we go to our word from our sponsors? Did you like it? There was a all Towelie episode. Let us know in the comments. Hold on. Let us know in the comments. We'll be right back on the other side.
You were asking them, not me.
Yep, exactly. I was asking the audience, not you.
Subscribe to Suck My Balls, a South Park review on Spotify, Apple's, iTunes, anywhere you want to download a podcast. Just type that in, subscribe to our feed, and you'll get the latest, greatest episode each and every week. You can also listen to us on YouTube and go back and watch some videos or any of our library. It's all there. Suck My Balls, South Park review.
And we're back on the other side. Once again, shout out to our sponsors. They're provided by Spreaker. Like I was saying before the break, what'd you think? Let us know in the comments section of the YouTube, or send us your feedback at suckmyballspod@gmail.com. You can also tweet us, Instagram at suckmyballspod, or Facebook at South Park Pod. Link tr.ee/South Park Pod. Again, Suck My Balls Pod right here, a South Park review on YouTube. Joe, the 2022 Red Rocks Day 1 Trivia Champion. The Trivia God.
Alrighty. This is one of the few episodes, the others being Pip, as I said earlier, and Handy Car coming later, to not feature any of the main cast, and this is the first time in the series' history that Stan has been absent for 2 consecutive episodes.
So here's what I would hold on. Here's what I would argue, since we're going to talk about this right now, about Handy Car. That's the only one I want to argue that. Because at this point, when they put out Handy Car, like, there was a development of Jimmy and Timmy and those different kind of characters. So, like, I would say that there was a lot more development over the years versus Towelie having a couple one-off appearances and then all of a sudden getting a full episode. You know what I mean? With no other characters in the episode itself. Anyway, I digress. Continuing.
After the revelation that Stephen McTally is in fact a towel, among the protesters is one guy with a sign that reads, "Viva Mexico Homosexual." This is the 3rd episode centered on a secondary character, the first 2 being Pip and Butter's very own episode. Wrigley Field was shown in the background while Oprah was on her talk show. Oprah was, of course, filmed in Chicago. This last part is not true, or no longer true. It's actually listed in its rightful place as episode 5. It just doesn't have episodes 2 and 3 of that season, or 3 and 4 of that season on HBO. That's not really trivia anymore. Whoever writes these sites, huh?
References to pop culture, Joe?
Sorry.
You're fine.
Yes, yeah, I was moving on. Various aspects of the book, A Million Little Pieces, and the controversy surrounding its author, James Frey, are referenced in this episode, including the title of the episode and the name of Towelie's book, both parodying the original. Oprah giving approval of the book and making it her Book of the Month selection references the attention the original book got after Oprah named it her book of the month and brought him on to the show. Oprah turning on Towelie and interrogating him in front of the audience references Oprah later bringing Fry back to the show and questioning his claims as well as his publisher for not doing a thorough background check. The company that publishes Towelie's book, Arbitrary House, is a reference to Random House, the real company that published A Million Little Pieces. The Chiparitos next to Towelie's typewriter are a reference to the real-life brand Doritos, which, as we know, he dedicated 3 chapters to.
Maybe I could edit that down some.
When Towelie is at the publishers, a poster that reads "The Joy Luck Groove Back" can be seen. This is a reference to Amy Tan's bestseller, The Joy Luck Club. In the creator's commentary for this episode, the original concept for the episode was supposed to be a parody of the A&E documentary series Intervention, where the town tries to help Towelie with his addiction. Although 10 minutes were already animated, it was eventually scrapped, and the concept was, of course, later used as the B story for the season 14 episode Crippled Summer.
Are you ready for a summer? Are you ready for
hookah hookah la wow wow wow? In Towelie's room, there are Lake Titicaca. God damn it! That's such a good episode too.
It is, and like the DLC for the game of Lake Titicaca is awesome as well.
Yeah. Oh my God, so good. Oh well. In Towelie's room, there are posters for the Thankful Dead and High Moments on his wall, referencing the rock band Grateful Dead and the magazine High Times. The company that Towelie visits that isn't Arbitrary House is called Porcupine Press, which is a parody of Penguin Books. Inside Geraldo Rivera's private office are images that references highlights of his career, including a poster for The Mystery of Al Capone's Vaults, which was a 1986 television special he hosted that was considered a failure due to only finding dirt and some empty bottles in the vault. An image of him standing inside a house with a portrait of Saddam Hussein is in the background is a reference to his time as a war correspondent for Fox News after Hussein was captured in 2003. Of course, Geraldo was asked to leave Iraq after drawing out actual like war plans and shit. Dude, like seriously, like I'm getting a look from MSG that he's never heard this. If you're listening to this podcast and never heard it, look it up on YouTube. Like he on Fox News, like literally drew out like how they were gonna flank some motherfuckers and stuff, and like the next day was asked to leave the country.
Yeah, you gave up in secret.
Yeah, like a huge OPSEC violation. Yeah. And a image of him with a bandage over his nose, referring to an incident on his talk show in 1988 where a fight between white supremacists and black activists broke out on stage, causing Rivera, the entire audience, and stagehands to get involved. Rivera ended up with a broken nose after a chair was thrown at it.
Crazy time back then. And then the last thing here, continuity, as we mentioned, Larry King Live, the show they showed here, was also previously seen in the episode Crazy Cripples. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is your full recap, your trivia, your pop culture, a little bit of continuity. Joe, what do you like about this episode?
Honestly, it definitely gets lost in the shuffle a lot, I think, because it's right between Cartoon Wars and what is definitely one of the better episodes of the series, with it coming up literally right after this. Yeah, exactly. You got Man Bear Pig coming up right.
Serial.
So it gets lost in the shuffle a lot, and it's definitely not Man Bear Pig, but this is a really damn good episode. I think, and maybe it's just because of the making fun of the fact that Oprah is seemingly asexual and the whole asshole and everything. It's good.
Right, and for those unaware as well, the big thing about that is what Oprah, I think she's still with the same guy, but they have like separate houses on the same property.
Yeah.
Like they're together, but they're not together.
Yeah, I mean, once Dave Chappelle impregnated her, I think everything went downhill.
Of course, you're referencing the Chappelle show. I'd have to say that I like this episode. I like Towelie. I like the fact that he got his own episode in a way. I think there might have been maybe a character or two who could have gotten their episode before him, you know? But that's just my personal opinion. You know, we never really have gotten a lot of girls episodes. Like, you know, I would at some point like think that'd be funny if there was like the whole time 4 girls that were exactly like Stan, Kyle, Kenny, and Cartman, but just going on in their own lives of South Park. You know what I'm saying? Like, and maybe they've been doing stuff in the background the whole time. The boys have been doing it too. Like that would be a parallel show, and you could basically keep South Park going forever if you really wanted to do it. Like, all you'd have to do is go back and just be like, here's episode 1, Cartman gets an anal probe, but here's what 4 girls were doing in the background while that was going on. You know?
Right.
Here's their story of what was going on in their version of South Park. So I feel like there could be a lot more characters, but as far as the episode, it's funny. You know, Tallie's funny. You know, Oprah yelling at Tallie's funny. The minge and the asshole thing, maybe a little bit too drawn out. You know, I guess it didn't resonate with me as funny ever, really. So, I mean, making fun of it's fun, like when we do their voices, but like watching it and watching the 90-second to a minute speech, you're like, oh my gosh. So it's not something I would go back and like, I can't wait to watch this episode again. But it's a funny episode. It's a good episode. If you haven't seen it and you're listening to our review for the first time, check it out. Smoke up a doobie, roll one up with your towel, and have a good time. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for another edition of Shack My Balls. Shack My Balls. Shack My Balls. Oh, yeah. Of course, I'm your host in the heat. Can't beat. My guys high. Air's dry. Your boy. M to the S to the G. Hit up that link, TREE/South Park Pod. SuckMyBallsPod@gmail.com. South Park Pod, Facebook. Suck My Balls Pod on the Twitter, Instagrammer. Let us know how you feeling. Hit us up with that Joe Brofowski 5-star review, and we'll read it here for everyone too. Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Vernola, what's going on in your six-head world? What's going on in Joe's six-head world?
Oh, it is. Oh man, I can't even remember any good Six-Head World lead-ins right now.
Tonight on Six-Head World.
It's Rocketed, baby. Tonight on Six-Head World. Let's see. We are 7 days in the past, so we don't need to worry about the 9th. October 15th, there are 2 shows coming up. If you are in Denver, head over to Mile High Comics for New Era Wrestling. If you are in Colorado Springs, head on down to Colorado Springs for Colorado Springs Wrestling. November 5th has 3 shows. Colorado Springs in the Springs, New Era Wrestling at Mile High Comics in Denver, and Battleground Pro Wrestling will be in Greeley, Colorado that day. Make sure you support your Colorado scene. And if you are not in Colorado, support whatever local entertainment scene you may have out there, whether it be band music, whether it be art, whether it be some kind of entertainment. It's just like some are looking to do like bigger things with it, but most of them just want to make you have a good day. So like fucking support them. They're supporting you. You don't even know it.
You don't even know. No,
they just want to uplift you and help you have a good time. So
I liked all that. I liked the message that you were delivering there. That was a good way to get as we end this episode. But ladies and gentlemen, as Joe says, support your local artists wherever you are, and support art itself. And it's what brings us all together. It helps. What creates our thriving, small, medium, and large niche communities, which we all come together and talk about our different joys. And that's how everybody can find common ground and live a better life. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for another edition of Suck My Balls South Park Review. We'll be back next week with Man, Bear, Pig. I am Super Cereal. He's coming to take over. And
you guys, it's my treasure.
We're going to find out what happens when Al Gore comes to town, comes to South Park. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back next week on another edition of Suck My Balls. Thanks for coming. See you later.